Anyway, we got this little edit and we still have some work to do on. So I was thinking of starting with that. Just finishing this one up. Little final touches and finishing the color, the lighting, all that junk. And then we'll move on to other things, depending on how long this takes. But yeah, there's not like that much like big things to do. Like this is the main thing is done. You can see it. It's pretty visible, pretty nice. I got some things noted down in Spanish, unfortunately. Sorry about that. Gonna translate them though. So lighting and stuff, which we're gonna do later. We got like a few edges to fix, like chiefly this one and this one. And then, yeah, this is more about the colors and getting that green looking nice. So, shall we start with... okay, let's start with one quick thing. That was bothering me just a little bit. So it has to do with this shadow mostly. And thing is that this foam here looks like, even though they are in the same, around the same amount of lighting, looks way different than this one. This one looks very gray, kind of greenish. This one looks way more in the blue tones. So we'll try to fix that, shall we? First, I think I'm gonna bring a tiny bit more shadow around this. Let's change music. Got a few ones on my stream test playlist. So let's see if some of these gets muted later. Alright, so this is more or less equal. Now we're gonna try to bring some of this color into this foam, because it really looks different from now. This is way more blue than this, which is green, pretty much. So we're gonna do a color layer. We're just gonna try to bring a little bit of that, just using a soft brush, light touches, and that kind of works, doesn't it? Now it feels more like it. We're also going to be bringing some of this color here, and again some of this here for good measure. I think this one looks pretty similar, but you never know. Same thing here. It's just mostly about blending, about trying to, like, the dark tones here in the water are very blue, and in this water they're very green. But it's all about bringing those together as nicely as we can. Obviously that doesn't apply to the areas that are more translucent, because light is coming through here, and it's kind of catching a different color as it does. It's kind of going from this more whitish or bluish color to something pretty much green. And it's like one of the main effects we did last week. No, it wasn't last week. 2 days ago. Goddamn. Time goes on so slow. So yeah, today we had a late-ish stream because my dog was sick. My dog got quite sick, and he was getting some treatment at the vet's, so I was like running back and forth to go leave and go pick him up and stuff. So that's why I ended up starting quite late today. Okay, let's see before and after. I think we still need some blue around. Oh, I want an eraser. Obviously that won't work. Some more blue here maybe. That looks a bit better. Okay, move on to the next thing then, I think. Although I might still tweak that a little. So what other things did we have? Oh god damn it. Here. There we go. What other things did we have noted for today? So okay, let's go to the edges. This and this. So there's this little edge here that bothers me. It feels like way too clean. And then there's this. So I'm gonna need some spray, some foam to go up. Kind of splash around a bit more. Because this is like super foamy. There's like a lot of foam in the air right in front of this finger. And suddenly, as the finger ends, it just stops. So I need to extend that foam a little. Okay, so let's start with, let's do this one. Let's go down a huge layer maze I built for myself. And let's try to find the right finger, which is gonna be this one. There we go. That's this edge. And oh, of course, I raised the base layer. So how are we gonna do this? Okay, I think we just need like a bit of splash, just a bit of texture there. Not too much, just to bring in some granularity, if you can say that word. Sometimes I just say words, hope they work. Let's go with this. So we have a pretty nice splashy area that we selected. Hey, Hell Dog, welcome. Waving hand. I love the ridiculous pun chain that came out of that discussion. So I'm just adding some stuff to, like, say this edge kind of bothered me. We got another edge to fix up after that. Then it's just mainly details, colors. I think I'm just gonna take this. This might be too small though. And then you can see now like it looks kind of wonky because there's color on top of it from when I tried to recreate the light coming in through here. So we'll obviously have to fix that. Might pull this in a little. And then just big eraser. Just get rid of what we don't need. There we go. And a bit here too. Okay. Then we need to find, I think it's gonna be this layer. There we go. Just gonna take an eraser, remove it where it makes the splashes look weird. I'm gonna do a smaller one too. That's too small. There we go. Just take the color out of the splashes. So yeah, big news from today. I am on a coronavirus vacation, you guys. Turns out they cancelled every student rotation in my hospital because there's starting to be quite a few coronavirus cases in my area. So they just shut the whole rotations down. So yeah, got 3 mornings from now on. I'm gonna have a lot of free time. Well, not a lot of free time. Some more free time. Mostly time to sleep. That's why I don't mind today's stream, like going on for long and late into the night, because I'm free tomorrow. No, I'm not quarantined. No, just not able to go into the hospital in case, because the university is responsible for me, so they don't want to get into any trouble. So they just stopped every student coming through to the hospital. So yeah, I'm pretty chill. Yeah, it's like safety mostly. Although this morning, like everything happens in the same day. So this morning there was quite a scare right where I'm doing my rotation. So I'm doing pediatrics now, and turns out the husband of one of the nurses that works in pediatrics turned out to be a positive case in coronavirus. So everyone was like, oh shit. We've all been like interacting with this nurse. She's like super chatty. She talks to everyone. She's super nice. And we were like, oh no, did we all get coronavirus from this nurse? No. Fortunately, they did a test on her and it turned out negative. So we're relaxed. We're chill. But for the whole morning, we were all kind of worried about that. But yeah, now they are managing most of the coronavirus cases here from the respective homes. So in here, the protocol we have is if you have a suspicion that you might have it, you call 112. You call like the emergency number, Spanish equivalent of 911, and you tell them this, and they come to your house. They do the test on you, and you stay home until they get if it's positive or negative. And if it's a positive and you just have a mild case, you just manage it from home instead of having them all come to the hospital. Is it? I think it might be for all of Europe. I think. I'm not. Don't quote me on that. I think that's like the smart way to manage it, because the less people that go to the hospital with suspicions, the better, because that you're gonna prevent a lot of transmission like that way. Okay, so we did that edge. That was just a little touch, nothing big. And now we need to do this one. So we need something like a spray, something like maybe. Let's see if we can get something from one of our earlier pictures. Maybe this. Do you? Really? I didn't know that. Or maybe that's Denmark only. But that is smart, because many people just know 911 from the movies and might just be inclined to call that. So whoever thought that had a good idea. The Americans just think everything works like in America. Yeah, it's like so in Spain, if you in Spain everywhere, if you type into your address bar in the internet, you type Facebook like this, like in the most horribly Spanish translated way, you actually get to Facebook. So they bought that domain and they redirected it to the Facebook front page. They think of everything. Okay, let me see in the other pictures we downloaded the other day. See if we can get any good ones. Oh, this is pretty good if I can isolate it, that is. That's actually like, it is the picture I took it from, so that would be the most accurate, obviously. So, okay, let's try to do that. Let's try to isolate it. It might be easier than I expect it to be. I don't know, because there's like 2 levels here. I might just take this part. Or like, okay, let's take a fairly clear bit like this. Now let's put that on screen. So it's been quite a day, really, because then there was this in the morning, then in the evening my dog got really sick, and it's been like that's why I started late today, because I've been to the vet and he's been getting some treatment and stuff, because apparently he got a bug that you get from or parasite that you get from ticks. So he was like, for a few days now, he was like not eating at all, or like very, very little. And today his whole stomach was like super how do you say, like stretched, like his stomach was huge. He was like super, like looking terrible, the poor little guy. So yeah, they tested him and turns out he got that bug from ticks. I call them ticks, right? The little buggers that suck your blood. Yeah, they're horrible. I hate them. And the weird thing is that it hasn't had any contact with ticks lately, and I mean, he could feasibly get one, but we check every so often, and we haven't found one in ages, you know? Yeah, exactly. Those ones. Those little buggers. So yeah, now he's looking way better, because they gave him, he had quite he had anemia, like he had a low hemoglobin in blood, like his blood cells were bursting due to this little parasite, and so they gave him some liquids. They started him antibiotics, and it's looking a bit better now. It was quite a scare, really. It's not the healthiest dog either, so you're like, it's like even scarier to do that. It's hard to isolate from its background. Maybe Leiden might do the trick. Yeah, might have gotten him from another dog. That's what I suspect. Because we don't live in like a very wooded area. It's just like a park. It's like the most wooded thing. Now we're scared for the other 2 dogs though, because we got 3 of them. But they're pretty healthy. They look alright. Hopefully don't get anything in the coming days. Okay, this might be usable. It's very thin spray though. Also, it doesn't really translate on top of this because it's on Leiden. No, why does it? Oh, okay. It's not that it's not translating. Stupid me. Is that the this is the layer mask is not locked. There we go. Last part should be good. Okay. Better. Hey bear! Bear! Yeah, also in Denmark. I mean, I know in Sweden, because I've been there doing medical rotations, and that was a topic that was talked about, that it's pretty common in Sweden. So I guess Denmark is similar. And in here in northern Spain, it's really common too. The ticks and their asshole little infections that come with them, which can be deadly even to humans. So yeah, it's good that you check yourself after walks. Bear, hell dog, Val. Common greeting. Okay, this is not very much I'm getting here. Did not pick the greatest picture for this purpose, but whatever. Let's try and work with it as much as we can. Try to give it some color too. Too much color. Just a little. Yeah, a bit better. Yeah, Borrelia. That's the name of the infection that it gives to humans. But that's not the same one that dogs usually get from ticks. Like, it's a similar kind of parasite that just lives in the tick's saliva. Yeah, it's a different one than the ones that I usually get. I don't know if dogs can get Borrelia. Yeah, and it's yeah, if you remove them quickly, you shouldn't have any problem. But if you, if even after removing it and after it's been gone for a few days, if you get on your skin a sort of patch, a red patch, well, it's not very red, but you get the idea. A red patch that starts off like this and then starts growing in starts growing like a ring, like this, and then after a few days, like this, you know, then you should get treatment, because that means it's like that's the beginning of Lyme's disease. Usually, that's like the most common beginning for Lyme's disease, and that's like not very, like that's not a big problem. That's just like a skin thing. But after a while, you might get some heavier stuff. Oh, didn't read that, Bear. You got Lyme's. That sucks. That is a very asshole infection. Yeah, the smallest little buggers that you can't even see are the worst sometimes, like mosquitoes. I'm so glad I don't live in an area where there's a lot of malaria and stuff. And it used to be, Spain used to have a lot of malaria, until they basically drained all of the swamps in the country. I can't really use screen on that. Lighten or lighter color seems to be the only good options. No, I could also try, let me try another thing too then. Let's do it on normal and do a blend if, see if that helps out a little. A year. Yeah, that if it gets nasty, Lyme's can take a long time to recover from. Not like the infection itself, like not the little bug, like the little bacteria you get, is fairly easy to kill, but it does leave some side effects that can be quite nasty to deal with. Yeah, it's like neurological, like muscle stuff. It's heavy, man. I'm glad you recovered well. Well, I hope you recovered well. I'm gonna assume. Hey, mister, been a while. How are you doing? ¿Qué tal? Just trying to get some more particles around here. See if I can fill it up a bit better. Oh, I kind of like this screen and with the blend if. I'm gonna do that on the other one too. I'm good. I was talking about my unannounced and unprompted vacation I just got, because my hospital closed every student rotations due to coronavirus. So I got 3 mornings for I don't know how long. I still got to study and stuff, but that's quite a weight of my timetable. Pretty good. Yeah. Big bad virus. It's not that bad. It's not like media really makes it sound way worse than it is. So don't freak out too much about it. Just wash your hands and you'll be fine. And if you're young and healthy, which I think all of you are, you're good. Okay, that's more or less the effect I was going for. This is looking much better. Got a few out there. 6 and today 10. 48 in Norway. That's quite a few for Norway, for a small country. We got I don't know how many in Spain already. I think it's growing quite fast in here. Why are they fabricating numbers? Exactly. 100 in the UK. Oh, that's not too much. Let me look for how many in Spain. God, the media is really getting so much out of this. That's one of the things that bother me. It's like how much they're getting from the mass hysteria. Everyone just looking at the news all the time. 220 in Spain. That's quite a few more in the UK. Like comparatively to the population, less than Norway though, looks like. Yeah, Norway's pretty small. 220, yeah, it's gone up quite a bit. No, I wouldn't hell dog. If we're talking about China, I would worry about them saying less numbers than it actually is, because they still have that sort of communist country pride where they can't let any bad news escape. But in the rest of in here in Spain, you wouldn't be able to suppress that kind of number. And in most Western countries, and in all Western countries, I don't think you would be able to get away with hiding that kind of stuff. Since when? I mean, since last couple of weeks. It's been growing steadily especially since there's been more in Italy. A lot of tourists from Italy came through Spain, and yeah, of course, like the positive numbers, so the numbers you get are the ones that have been tested. For instance, just a little tidbit is that in children get it way less. It looks like there's quite a few like less active cases in children, which means obviously it doesn't mean that children are getting less exposed to it. It means that children are probably just having the virus without even noticing it. Like they're just going through it without any symptoms, or with very few symptoms. So that means that there's probably quite a lot of people carrying it without noticing. That's the kind of thing that makes it grow without people really noticing. Or even though we put a lot of preventive measures, it'll still slip through the cracks because of that. China, they at least at first, they definitely mess with the numbers, it looks like. I'm sure that'll be more investigated as time goes on. Korea, I don't know, Korea is pretty, I don't think they have any reason to hide it. Oh, you got tested. It came out negative, I assume, because then you would say I have it. Oh, but I was fine. Yeah, I just didn't read that. Yeah, or may even be the other way around. Like maybe you don't show it because you don't have as big as an immune response. Funny thing is, most viruses don't kill. It's not the virus that kills you directly. It's just your body's response to the virus that kills you. Your body's trying so hard to kill this virus that just all over that it just kills itself. Literally, like that is the immune response in a nutshell. Don't try to scare us, mister. Also, we won't get it from watching a stream with you. They dropped the ball on containing it. I mean, they did go pretty hard once like the news were out. The really big asshole thing they did was try to suppress the news at first. Like when doctors first noticed it in December, they tried to shut them up. Yeah, that was terrible first response. But then, I mean, they have like authoritarian government measures that they can take. They can just lock everyone home and fuck you because you can't do anything. They wouldn't be able to do a lot of these things in Europe. So after, yeah, like that kind of response was adequate, even though a bit harsh maybe on another population. Put on face mask. Don't worry about face mask, guys. Just wash your hands. Like that's and the people that need face masks are like vulnerable people and people with old people with any previous conditions that might just make it worse for them. Those people need face masks, so don't hog face masks for those. From those. Personal doctor. Internet doctor. Plague doctor's masks. They should really bring those back. Like those were cool as hell. You know that why they were shaped like a beak? apparently they put like the smell during the plague got so bad that they put a lot of aromatic herbs and flowers and stuff that smelled nice in that beak, so they would just get the nice smells. Apparently they also thought that would protect them from infection, but that's like medieval mindset. They thought that infections were in the air, were not like bacterium. Drink a lot of Corona Extra, exactly. That's the antidote. They didn't tell you that in the news. Yeah, I love those masks. You know, they actually banned Plague Inc. in China because people were playing it so much, and well, Chinese government can't just do that. They can't just screw that game. It's bad press. I'm gonna copy this again. I just want to kind of a smoother transition between the spray and the wave. Nice smelling things. Well, they didn't get protected from infection, but at least they were comfortable. Yeah, what isn't banned in China? I had a friend in China recently. I think I told this on stream already, but for those who weren't there, I had a friend who was doing an exchange, like internship in China for a year, and he got a girlfriend there, a Chinese girlfriend. And he went to visit their parents for Chinese New Year in Wuhan, in literally the city where the virus started. So they got there, and then like the virus was already there for a while, so they were like a little bit worried. What is this? But it still wasn't like a known thing. So I remember him asking like, "Oh, should I take any precautions?" I was like, "Yeah, wash your hands, whatever." But then it really got like serious while he was there. So they kind of freaked out and left the city, and they were right to do so, because literally the next morning, like they left in train at night, and the next morning they closed off the city. So they were quick to react, and thankfully, because then they would be still stuck in Wuhan. So they stayed for a while in Beijing, but then they closed off his university, his girlfriend's university too, so they came back to Spain. And funnily enough, now it's like the same virus is breaking out in Spain, so they haven't really run out from it. But at least they're home. Instead of in a random Chinese city. That must have been so stressful to them. It's chasing them. Yeah, we joked about around that with him. Yeah, I believe his girlfriend, who used to be at least very like supportive of the government. Obviously in China they like, you just don't get any, like you don't get any information apart from what your government tells you, so you kind of limited on that. So she was like pretty pro Chinese government, and after she saw their reaction to this outbreak, she freaked out quite a lot, and now apparently she's become super anti-government. She just changed her stance in no time. Understandably, yeah. I mean, I kind of understand if you're there, if you're from there, because you only got that like you've only got that source of information for your whole life. Your whole family is like that. All your friends are like Communist Party members, so you just don't have any other perspective. Apparently, she recently discovered YouTube, because obviously it's banned in China. So she was like watching all sort of videos about China, like critical stuff about her government, and she was like mind blowing. They don't know any better. Yeah, I think that's a lot of what's going on in China. Because if you talk actually to Chinese people, they're mostly like super pro-government and defend them on a lot of stuff, like how they manage Hong Kong and all the bad stuff they did. Just gonna darken this a little. Just a quick tip of the brush. Anyway, we fixed most of the things that were bothering me. So I think now we're just gonna go to colors. We're gonna do, actually made an action for this I should remember to use. To do a flatten and a camera raw, instead of having to do it manually all the time. Yeah, it must be like quite an eye-opening thing. But like, fortunately, you learn this in a sort of safe place. Because if you learn that your government is like cracking down on any dissenters and watching out for people who might learn for what you're just learning, must be like really scary if you're there. Fortunately, she just learned about all that stuff while in Spain, so we're obviously gonna do a vignette. I always do them for I don't even think about it anymore, I just put one on. I mean, there's no way they don't work. There's like very few cases where vignettes don't work. Maybe if your subject is fairly out of center. We know nothing about Russia. What the fuck happens there? Well, a lot of cracking down on your own people, actually. I think recently they're about to pass a constitutional law against gay marriage and against, like, they're literally like running back in time. Scary stuff. Okay, so what colors are we gonna bring out? Thinking blue and green, mostly. Just reinforce the colors that we already got here. We're gonna go to HSL first. What does HSL stand for? Never thought about it. Let's bump up the saturation here. I think those aqua colors are what's mostly like back here and in the highlights of the hand here. So if I make them a bit more, if I turn them a bit more to blue, they'll match the colors here better, I hope. Also the greens. We also got some greens there. I don't think we got any oranges, reds, or whatever. Those just don't exist here. But he wanted traditional marriage. Yeah, that was quite scary to look to learn the other day. You literally have Air Force units with one task intercepting Russian unmarked planes. Really? Daily? That is scary. That is scary. I'm thankful we're as far away from Russia as you can get in Europe. Hey, Kristika! Still missing the penguins, the penguins. Yeah, NATO is against Russia, definitely. How the Kristika bear? Okay, so what I don't want to do here is really take those greens and, oh, no, didn't do that. Take those greens and make them too blue, because then they're just mixed with the background and they don't look much like highlights anymore. Still want to keep them green. Maybe not as green as this. Maybe just a bit more blue and just more luminance, so they still keep that highlight, that punch. They might want to pass through our airspace. Oh, okay, so you're fairly safe. Those guys really. We're in a massive dilemma where to go into flight school or enlist in the Spanish Air Force. Yeah, and what are you leaning towards right now? So I just did a little split toning here. Oh, to increase the greens on the highlights and the blues on the shadows. I don't know if I should tone it down just a little. They didn't allow you to join the Air Force. I'll fly school, just like my brother then. Yeah, we talked about this, yeah. I don't think I want to change anything like exposure, contrast, those kind of things, because we already had a pretty nice base picture. So I don't want to mess with those exposures and stuff too much. Let's see before and after. We brought some blue. We helped the blues and the greens there blended a bit better. We made some vignette, of course, because who am I without some vignette? And yeah, overall it's pretty good. You thought the marches were amusing? Yeah, that's my brother had a similar dilemma, but he didn't like the Air Force too much. was mostly about the costs of flight school. But we did end up going with flight school. Yeah, Norway coast is very strategic. If any of you guys are Norwegian, of course. We got the bear here. Oh, look at that. That camera raw filter. For some reason it looks from afar. Look at this splash here. It really blended it first, like without me just touching anything. By accident. Oh, helicopter pilot. That sounds fun. Okay, what else do we... Yeah, I think all those things are taken care of. Well, there's not anymore, so I can erase a layer. Then let's try some lookup tables. We had this one saved from the other day, because who was it? Shu asked for... Shu wanted to see how it looked on it. So I thought it would look pretty nice, the colors were nice, so I kept it here. I kinda like it, I like it. And a low opacity over what we got. We made those blues look nicer. Let's go with other color lookups. We got a lot of them. We got a lot to try here. Haven't seen the sea in so long. Trying out some different bluish lookup tables. And this one, as in colors mostly, brings out some yellow into the highlights, which obviously goes well with blue. Kind of makes a complement with colors. But I was going with green on there. I could switch it for yellow, or I don't know. Maybe just bring in a little bit of it like that. Give some warmth to the just to the back of the image. I'd love to see this in a moody, eerie version. Yeah, that would be good. I live in coastal Spain. Yeah, in northern Spain, in Asturias. So where I live specifically, it's near Oviedo, near the capital. So it's we don't have any coast like very near. But if you drive for 10-20 minutes, more like 20 minutes, you can get to the nearest beach. Okay, let's try like very moody color lookups. We can do late sunset without the color, like more for a scary vibe. Near the border, no, more towards the like if. So if this is Spain, and this is like Portugal, and Gibraltar, whatever, this is France here, I live here. Bit more north, like about around here. So not really next to the border, more towards the Northern sea. Dramatic sky. That's true. Like cloudy storm sky, right? Let's go look for the picture real quick. Oh, yeah, I just moved that on accident. Yep. That happens when I swing my mouse widely. I've been too wrong. I'll go as exactly what it needs. Okay, let's try to find a nice cloudy sky like this. I mean, this is pretty moody too, like misty. I really like this type of sky too. Let's go with... I'm liking this one, but that's a bit too much contrast. Let's see if there's something slightly more suitable. Oh, this is good. Like, and this is like literally off the beach. Hey, Swear Up 55. How you doing? You're doing a nice little hand coming out of the water. Well, that's the original look. Now we're trying more moody approach. See how that looks. So we're finding pictures of a stormy sky to use with that. I think I'm gonna use this one. Why not? Beer bong and been too wrong. Basically the same thing, right? We're talking about the same thing. Barcelona has a perfect landscape, sea and mountains. Yeah, it's good. I love that city. I really like Barcelona. Or Barcelona, as with a really English accent. Just looking for the dog, but he's not around. I'm doing good, Swear Up. Recently learned that I'm on sort of vacation due to coronavirus. Because I'm a med student and they stopped all hospital rotations for us. For understandable reasons, but that means I'm kind of on vacation. Virus time, boys! Hey, Ender! I'm good though, don't worry about me. I wash my hands obsessively, so I'm gonna be the last guy to catch that virus. Catch that nasty boy. How's this for moody sky? I guess I would also darken this whole area right below it. Just a little gradient. Valid is going viral. That's a nice name to spell my name. Nice way to spell my name. And people say that Barcelona was the capital. That's very... like, you get that a lot. Confused. confuse tourists or just people who've been there and didn't really bother to learn that it wasn't the capital. Immune system gang. Come on. Don't laugh at us that have the ones that have terrible immune systems. Especially don't laugh close to us, because we might catch something. Blur into the sky? Like, do you mean a blur in the water here? Or just blur that darkness, that dark? Capital Spain is Portugal. Please don't do that. Please. You lick your fingers. Oh my god. I'm gonna start kicking people out of medical advice. Bad medical advice reasons. Oh, I think that needs... What was bothering me the most, actually, this edge here. There we go. How do you like a moody version? Just for comparison. Light and moody. I mean, in the moody one I might lighten this area up because it seems a bit too dark for my taste. But that's like the general gist of it, like the general feel of it. Mr. Please. The World Health Organization. Yeah. Smother your fingers up with your saliva. Great medical advice. I kinda like it both ways. I also like the foggy sky vibe. We could do that with Moody, so get this one out. Maybe reduce it a little. I'm actually gonna do something here. We're gonna reduce it in this lower area especially, because I don't like how it's making it too dark around here. There we go. It's a bit better. Hey Scorpy, how are you? Doctor, you should change your name to Dr. Cooler then. That would be a great name for a doctor. I don't have a touchpad? You mean a tablet? Like this? You should get one, they're the best. You only go places where they're a dog and have them lick my hands clean. That's great. That's very healthy. Well, we also have bacteria killing proteins in our saliva. They actually do a pretty good job. Like, obviously it's a numbers game. There's a ton of bacteria in our mouth. So this kind of keeps the population down. But if you test this protein against a lot of our antibiotics, they actually kill bacteria better. Like they punch holes through bacteria. We couldn't like give it to a person and put it in the veins, because that would be wreak havoc. So it would be toxic in our bloodstream. That's why we don't give it as antibiotics. But it's pretty good for like the saliva, for the job it does. I mean, just use your saliva. That's actually the reason why we think there's an impulse to lick your wounds. Animals lick their wounds, right? And I think like if you were a child or you get a paper cut, you put it in your mouth, and that's because when in a world in nature where you don't have antibiotics, licking your wounds would not only like get like residue and stuff out of it and prevent infection, but this protein in saliva would kill some of the bacteria, so it would lower chances of infection. That's why it is thought that we have that impulse, the animals especially. You were told to lick your wounds? Oh, I didn't hear that about that one. Suck the blood out. No, you should wash your hands with soap. It's way better at it. But I mean, saliva does have some of these properties that are pretty cool. So I'm gonna try to. There was this picture I found before that I quite liked. So I really like this foggy feeling too, and we pretty much like got it. Like we got a pretty like clean sky here. So I think we could get some of that foggy feeling if we just take some of the sky. Let me see if we can do this. We take some of the sky, control. Let's put it onto a single layer. There we go. We just take this sliver out of the sky, push it down a little, and then just apply that. There we go. Try to apply that like fog, because I could just take a brush and do it, but then the colors here would be different, so I would have to do it with a ton of different colors and stuff. I'm just lazy. Someone give you the shivers. Oh my god. I'm just coming out of this stream with people being worse at hygiene than how they came in. Gotta do something quickly. I'm gonna merge the hand group. Just gonna use this selection, and oh, that's not the right layer. This is the right layer. There we go. What exactly is phlegm? Is it clogged saliva? No, it's mostly the mucus that comes out of your lungs. So your lungs, the whole mucus, like the lining that covers the inside of your lungs, has a lot of little hairs, like hair brushes, that just push up continuously like this. So you just take all the mucus that forms in your lungs and they push it up continuously, and you're supposed to, like, the normal mechanism is that just goes up, and you, without noticing, you swallow that and it just gets digested back. But yeah, if you have a lot of buildup in your lungs, you get a lot of phlegm. That's why when you have something pulmonary infection, you get a lot of it, or you smoke a lot. You object to any health advice? Well, then I'm not gonna help you a lot. Please bear. It is not sterile. Please do not wash your hands with phlegm. I implore you. Okay, so that's for a bit of a foggy feeling. Even push it up a little bit more. I'm actually gonna put all this below our adjustment layers. No, I shouldn't. No. Should I go back on that? Because this layer I just took it from everything with its adjustment layers already on. So if I put it below the adjustment layers, they just get applied twice and you get something wonky like this. Please don't. You guys are gonna get... Everyone's gonna get coronavirus in this chat. I'm sorry, Akustika. It's not my fault. It's this bunch of degenerates. Okay, let's keep trying lookup tables. Let's see if there's any other fields we could go with. Let's go with the abstract profiles, which are usually pretty good for colors. Obviously this don't work that well if you have just one main color, but if you have like several colors in a picture, it'll kind of squish all those colors down to two. So these ones in the under lookup tables, in abstract, all those gold, crimson, green, red, sienna blue are very good, very useful. Not for this case, but in general. Oh, I just messed up. There we go. The noise. It's funny how, like, during med school, I got completely immunized to all gross things. Like nothing, pretty much nothing grosses me out anymore. You just kind of get accustomed to it. It just doesn't become such a big deal anymore. Oh, there is one thing that still kind of grosses me out, and it's dermatology stuff. So all the big skin, like eczemas and big lesions in the skin. That's kind of nasty for me. Dr. Valdevia hand sanitizer. You're just waiting for a lawsuit against me. Nelson chalkboard. Chalkboard. Oh yeah, working in a care home, I get that too. Like in general, I think if you've done any health work, you get really desensitized to gross stuff. I'm so glad I can't see your hands right now. stuff. Victory. I thought for a second this reflection was like a weird artifact. I don't think... no, it wasn't as visible before. It still was. So I think we're gonna go for this. I think the one I might change the most is this one, which kind of darkens things quite a bit. And it's good for the moody feel, but it might be bad for readability, you know? Yeah, I think it's still pretty readable. Not supposed to be goo-like. I love all this body horrors we are creating in here. Must be weird for someone coming in. I'm sorry, newcomers. I promise this is not all the time, just some of the time. Okay, so we're gonna save this. Let's save this as JPEG 2, just to have it. And we are gonna move on to something else.